Good evening, English 218. Quick video here, going to keep it really brief because I know you guys have a lot of work to do on your literature reviews, but I wanted to talk to you about a few things related to that assignment and the upcoming end of the semester. So, first and foremost, I think everybody but maybe two people have received grades on their annotated bibliographies, and I'll be returning those other two shortly. Generally speaking, you guys did a very nice job. But I am a little concerned about the quality of sources that some people are using. Remember, the purpose of this literature review isn't to gather general information about a topic. It's to review studies and research about a particular topic. So information that just describes a well-known thing or phenomenon are not going to be very helpful. Instead, you want to find somebody who's trying to make knowledge about that topic. So somebody who's conducting studies or doing research or analyzing data and then drawing conclusions from that. So if you're not using studies, it's going to be hard to write a literature review. What you would be writing instead is more just like an encyclopedia entry on a topic. And so I would encourage you to do one of two things. First and foremost, take a look at the works cited page for some of your studies, because likely they will reference other studies, or use the feature in Google Scholar that I've showed you, which allows you to trace the research forward. So where a works cited shows us the work that came before the piece that we're reading, the cited by feature on Google Scholar allows us to see what happened since that article was published. And so that should allow you to trace a pretty specific topic along a line of thinking and research. So I would highly encourage that. That's actually going to make your job easier. So I hope that you do that. As far as the literature review goes, at this point it's about getting your butt in the chair and just working on it. And really the difficult part about writing a literature review is in thinking about what themes emerge in the research. So it's really about how can you organize all of the ideas that you're reading. Summarizing and synthesizing in and of itself, you guys have down pretty well, and you've shown that in both your summary analysis and in your annotated bibliography. Now it's kind of trying to identify what's the story here. So based on the research that I'm reading, what claims can I reasonably make? What questions can I reasonably raise? What can I reasonably expect the research to do relative to a specific topic? And so that may take you some time, but that's really going to be the most important thing here, is thinking about how you want to organize the body of your literature review. For the most part, you guys did a really nice job with your introductions. You did well to introduce your topics, provide backgrounds to your topics, to explain why your topic is important. For some of you, I encouraged you maybe to provide some sense of your methodology in compiling your review. So whenever we're doing research in a scientific context, or really in any research context, one of the things that we really want to be mindful of is replicability. So we want people to be able to replicate what we did. So giving some sense of how you compiled your list of sources, in terms of the keywords that you used, the sources that you consulted, the time period that you're working within. All of those things are really helpful because they kind of show us the method to your madness, so to speak, so that we know exactly why you read what you did and why you compared the articles that you did. At this point, I think really if you need any help, the most important thing is to seek me out. First and foremost, I'm probably your greatest asset here, so I'm happy to meet with you individually. I'm happy to read preliminary drafts, outlines, sketches, anything that you need feedback on, I'm happy to do. So just feel free to call, text, or email me about those things. And then the second best thing you can do, and the thing that I hope that you've all done, is to take a look at the sample literature reviews, because I think they'll give you some inspiration. Even if they have nothing to do with your topic, you'll see some of the organizational strategies that other people have used. And really, there's innumerable. It's almost infinite, the possibilities in terms of the ways that you could organize this review. But what's most important to me is that you tell the story of the research. So what is the research telling you? What do we know about that specific topic? What do we know about using music to treat Alzheimer's disease? What do we know about the efficacy of using Suboxone or methadone to treat opiate addiction? What do we know about the flu vaccine relative to its effectiveness? And in that, you may find some discrepancies. You can identify inconsistencies. You can also identify omissions from the research that you think are important. But really, at the end of the day, like I've said, I'm looking for you to tell the story of the research. So what do we know about these topics? And if you do that and you engage closely with the literature, if you compare at a very specific level. One of the things I noticed in your annotated bibliographies is that some people are flying at a high level sort of abstraction. And what's important when you're looking at research is that sometimes the scope of the findings or the significance of the findings or the strengths of the findings are what's most important. So, if you're looking at something like the connection between alcohol and depression, you may find that most of your studies, let's say 7 out of the 8 studies that you read, found a correlation. That's part of the story. The story is that those two things are linked. But maybe if you look a little bit deeper, you'll be able to see something about the strength of those correlations. So how strong is the correlation? Maybe studies using different methodologies or different approaches find different strength correlations. Maybe some of the researchers can actually move into identifying causation, where the two phenomena are not just related, but they have a causal type relationship, or one variable causes the other. So those are the types of things that I really want you to think about, and those are the things that I want you to show me through your literature review. As I said last week, if you're doing this correctly, you will know more about your specific topic than anybody else on campus by virtue of the fact that you have engaged deeply with the literature, that you have read 8 to 10 or whatever it is that you've compiled sources and studies about a very specific topic. So, and that's how I want you to approach this, and it's your job in the literature review to show me what you learned through that process. And I'm willing to leave a lot of room for creativity and your own personal touch on this particular assignment. So I look forward to reading those. And again, I can't stress enough, if you need additional help, the best thing that you can do is reach out to me, and I'll get you on my calendar as soon as possible. I don't want this assignment to be needlessly stressful for you. You've done the hard work. You've practiced summarizing. You've practiced writing for a public audience. You've practiced writing really concisely and planning for rapid reading and comprehension. You've gathered the resources. Some of you have a little bit of extra work to do on that front, but many of you have the 8 sources that you need, and now it's time for you just to tell the story that those articles tell. So that's what I'm looking for. So if you have any questions or concerns, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys shortly.